Hey, good day, good day. This is Robert Brown with another episode of the Rob Report on the go. How you doing today? I don't know where to start with this. All right, so let's get into the story, and then I'm going to talk about a mission that I got coming up. Let's get into the story right here. Stacey Abrams. I don't understand. I mean, I appreciate her in her race for the governor of Georgia. She won, she ran a great race. She ran on progressive policies and barely lost. But she has to fault herself for that loss. Anytime you're going to be running up against a person who's in charge of election, who's in charge of voting, the Secretary of State, her being, I don't know how to say this, her being in a position where you're going to be running up against the Secretary of State of Georgia, who happens to run the election. You not demanding that he step down because of a conflict of interest is not smart politics. You must step down, sir. And I will be hitting you over the head over the news and everything. You must step down because I can't trust you in this process. And my people of Georgia shouldn't, not a matter whether they do, they shouldn't trust you in this process because you're in charge of election. It's just like that person who's going to Nevada on Pete Buttigieg's team, and they're going to put her in charge of vote count. You don't put a Pete Buttigieg surrogate in charge of that kind of stuff. You are asking for it. Therefore, Bernie Sanders needs to stand up and call that out. Whenever you see stuff like that, you must stand up and call those things out. Stacey Abrams said the Democrats will win in 2020 by telling our story, not against Trump. Baby, sister, this ain't no time for Barney. This ain't Clifford the big red giant dog. This ain't Sesame Street. This is the United States getting back to the needs of the people. So telling a story ain't gonna do it. You gotta have policy. You gotta have platform. And you gotta be aggressive about pushing that platform. Now later on today we're gonna talk about the Bernie bull crap and all that kind of stuff and a whole bunch of stuff. But Stacey Abrams, let's see what Stacey Abrams gotta say. Stacey Abrams came this close to making history as the first black woman to win a governor's race in America. But she fell short thanks to voter suppression effort led by her opponent. Yeah, and you should expect that your opponent was going to suppress the vote by being the Secretary of State. You should have called for him to step down. And you should have been on every TV. The only thing that should have been coming out of your mouth is, bro, you need to step down. You putting yourself in a position to rig this thing. I believe you're going to rig it. Therefore, you need to step down. It's a conflict of interest. You run that department, bro. You the boss. I don't trust you. And he should have had other people out there saying the same thing too. So you can't blame that on voter suppression without first blaming yourself for allowing the person to do the voter suppression. Abrams isn't bitter about the controversial loss. Instead, it has only fueled her to keep working even harder. My question is, how are you working harder, Stacey Abrams? Are you calling for paper ballots? Are you calling for ranked choice vote? No. All you can go around is saying election fraud, election integrity, gerrymandering, and all that. My question is, are you calling for us to go back to paper ballots? Are you calling for ranked choice voting? Because those are the two best tools to bring democracy back to our voting process. These electronic stuff ain't working. These apps ain't working. And anybody leaning on that stuff, if you know anybody that's leaning on that stuff, tell them they're looking to be robbed. You're looking to be robbed. Abraham told filmmaker Ava DuVernay, which person I have little issues with myself, during a recent conversation about democracy and diversity. The pair sat down to chat at the National Day of Racial Healing, hosted by DuVernay, Array Alliance, and the Kellogg Foundation. Of course, Tony Tiger got to get in. During her race for Georgia top seat, Abrams focused on expanding the electorate, not simply on trying to convince disaffected Republicans to join her team. Because of this, she's not only turned out more black and white voters than former President Barack Obama, but she's also massively increased Latinx and Asian turnout as well. How? Through her campaign. Abrams focused on the issues people cared about the most, including education, healthcare, poverty, which she called immoral and economical inefficient. Now look here, people. Following Abraham model may just be the way the Democrats win back the White House in 2020, but the Spelman College grad also has some adept advice for those looking to make it to 1600 Pennsylvania. So here we are, we got a loser. Just call it as it is. She still lost. Sure, she had a great campaign. I keep telling people, not you guys because you're smart, I keep telling you, you can get out the vote. You can get out the vote. Black voter turnout came out big for Stacey Abrams. Huge for Stacey Abrams. But it's not enough. You got to reach out to Republicans. You got to reach out to independents. You can't just be focusing on the Democratic Party, which makes up only half of the electorate, if not 20, let's say 30% of the electorate, being modest. You're not going to win an election trying to get the Democrats out to the voting booth. You got to get the Democrats to the voting booth, and you got to go outside of your party. You got to do some mass crossover in order to win the election. See, that's what Obama did. Obama did mass crossover. He did it's not a white or black thing. It's a red, white, and blue thing. It's not a Republican thing or Democrat. Red, white. He played that, and we fed into that. Now, we didn't know he was going to get in there and try to kiss a Republican behind just to try to get some to prove that he can work well. He should have did it. He should have been a little Trumpian at the beginning and just ran all his legislation through that he wanted to run through, especially when it come to doing for the black community. Represent the people who came out for him in the high 90s, almost 100%. And those are the people who you bend over backwards to serve when you get in administration. Those who came out the most for you. That would encourage other people to come out the most for you. So I don't know what Stacey Abrams talking about. You know, we tell our stories. I told my story, and I almost won. Almost ain't good enough. Either you're going to win or don't win. Right now, you're not the governor. He is. And what you got to do is you got to go back to the drawing board and figure out, like Hillary Clinton, what happened. Well, this is what happened. The black vote came out big numbers. You had good Latino votes, but you can't focus on color. You got to focus on demographics. Color is important, but you got to focus on location. You got to reach out to voters everywhere. Your platform have to be something they can connect to. Your energy has to be something they connect to. Trust has to be something connect to that people can connect to. And being bold and stand up strong to say, nah, I see what you're doing, ain't happening, and calling it out when you need to call it out, that's what you got to do. That's how Trump won. And that's how Trump is winning right now in his primaries in the high 90s. That's why his approval rating has gone up in just about every area. That's why over 97% of Republicans back him up. Republican voters back him up. I feel sorry for those Republicans that's going to go against Trump because he got the power to get them voted out of office if he can get somebody to primary. If he can pick out person to primary Mitch McConnell, for an example, Mitch McConnell is gone. But Mitch McConnell ain't dumb. he's kissing Trump behind too. All of them kissing Trump behind. And that's what I'm saying. Stacey Abrams giving sound advice on how we win, telling stories. Nah, baby, Barney time, your happy time, Mr. Roger time ain't gonna get it. Telling these stories is not gonna get it. You talk about what you're gonna do for America. You talk about how you're gonna do it for America. And you go out there and advocate America and show America that you're really, really fighting for them, then we'll get the thing done. But make a long story short, you got to call out. You knew that man was a conflict of interest. He should have never ran, and you should have called it out, and you didn't call it out. Therefore, no matter how high the numbers are with black people going out to vote, the bottom line is you lost because of rigging. And why? Because you did refuse to call out the rigging. That's why Bernie Sanders got to continue to call out this rigging and say, I see what y'all doing, and I ain't standing for it. And I'm going to call you out if I see you individually. And call out Tom Perez and all of them. But anyway, I'm done with this particular segment of the Rob Report. Stacey Abrams, baby, if you ain't pushing ranked choice voting and paper ballots, then your efforts concerning election integrity still have a failure ending to it. You still got a failure ending to it. Thank you for your advice, but no thank you. Sure, you got to rally people around your agenda, and stories are always good, but that ain't going to defeat Trump. Being able to cross over, that's going to defeat Trump. Being able to call out the crooks when you see them, when you catch them in their crooked act, that's going to defeat Trump. Being able to show the working people that you're fighting for them, that's going to be able to beat Trump. Not just storytelling, baby. If you like this particular segment of the Rob Report, you see how I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it from my phone because my computer is shot. And unfortunately, I'm doing this full time right now at the moment. So I have no income coming in at this moment. So, but at least not for another few weeks. And I did do some business deals, and I'm waiting for that money to come in. But as of right now, I am venturing off to get my computer out. A few of you guys gave, and I really, really appreciate it, and that money did go toward that. And I want to thank you for your support. I got two phases that I'm doing this at. The first phase is to get my baby out, my desktop that allows me to do the high stream, the live broadcast. My streaming is a little bit better on that. And, so that computer, the chipset is good, and it helps me to do live stream. I hate not doing my live streams. For those who did give, I did get a 4K webcam with that. That was about $2 something. So I married what little money I had with your money, and we got that taken care of. Now I just need some partners to help me get this computer out, and then I'm trying to get the Windows Surface Pro before the New York primaries, which is coming up soon. And I want to be able to take my camera, my microphone, and I got a couple people offer to assist me in this, and go talk to the people, and go talk to the politicians, get in their face when they come here to New York. New York is a big state with a bunch of delegates, and I want to be able to prove to myself that I can be a good interviewer. I want to be able to prove that I can produce high quality production, but I need the help of the people. We got about over 10,500 subscribers, so I'm looking for 25 people to donate $25. Just 25. I know most people don't got it, but I believe out of the 10,000, at least 25 can support Bob TV with a $25 donation, or 50 people who can give $20. I just need the budget outside of me is $500, and I'm trying to get that by this weekend because there's a good deal on the computer. I'm a brother about deals, and I want to make sure I take advantage of that deal before the price go up. But yeah, please, if you can, donate to my PayPal, paypal.me/BobTVNYC, all caps. and hopefully we can get this done by Friday. Nevertheless, I am putting into this too. We're doing this together, but I really want to step my production game up, and I really want to be more aggressive about doing this. And I'm not just doing political stuff. I got the union activism show where I'm trying to marry the community with union workers to get their needs met. So I got that show going, and I got the Bobby Brown show where we're going to talk about anything under the sun, things that you're dealing with. I'm going to kind of mirror and match my man Tim Black with the call-in show on the Bobby Brown show. So I want to have a guest. We're going to have a topic. We're going to have people calling in. Just let you get it off the chest. I mean, whatever's on your heart and mind, it doesn't matter. It could be politics. It could be marriage. It could be anything. And we'll see what we can do to support one another. But this stuff takes time. It takes hours. And so I really am, not want to lean on you for support, but I'm looking for a remnant, 25 to 50 people, at least willing to give one time, $25 from 25 people, or $50 from 20 people. I think that's it. Yeah. Out of the 10,000 that we have as subscribers. But that's that. If